I appreciate, as the organization does, and coaches in particular right now, the effort that the players gave us that we ended up having to release. And we're hoping that they have an opportunity to hook up with another team, but their attitude was phenomenal throughout all of the OTAs and camp there. So I thought Brett and his staff did a nice job navigating through the last couple days. Those are tough, and putting together this final roster. So I think they handled that very well. So there are no injuries to talk about. Everybody's up and going. We worked yesterday. Now the guys are in a normal routine. So today is their day off. They'll be back in tomorrow for film and lifting, and then we're right into the normal week, getting ready for Jacksonville. So time's yours on that.
Andy, what tells you that Shady still has it?
Well, just the tape. We looked at the tape, and it's. I've known him for a long time, obviously, and so there are not a lot of 31-year-old running backs running around out there, but he still has the great feet and the vision. So the way we'll work that situation is we're lucky to have Damien here, who we consider a starter, as we do Shady, and so I think it's a great situation to be in, and really for both of them and for the football team. And they don't know each other, but they'll get to know each other here, and I know they'll work well together.
What are your expectations for Shady coming in?
Well, to really learn the offense. This is different than what we did in Philadelphia. There'll be some familiar things, but it's quite a bit different. And so he's gonna have to get in and learn it, and then we'll just see how that goes. I mean, they both have an opportunity to play, but we've got to. I'm not going to put him out there in a bad situation without knowing the plays. I would never do that. So, and we've got other guys that can play too. So I'm not saying that, but so that's where we're at.
You plan to get him out there against Jacksonville now?
We'll see. We'll see what he can pick up in a short period of time here, and how comfortable he is with it, and then we'll go from there. He's a pretty sharp kid, so I think he'll be okay doing that. And he's been practicing and playing in these preseason games, so it's not the conditioning part is not an issue. It's just becoming familiar with the protections and the run game part.
He made the decision pretty quickly to come here. What were the conversations like to bring him here and reaching back out again?
Yeah, well, how you doing? And it's we'd like to get you here, and we're familiar with his agent, Drew, and so it was a matter of talking to Drew and then just working from there. But both Drew and LeSean wanted to get that thing done fast, and they had some options, so we felt good about it.
Coach, the way that that LeSean had spoke about you and Brett over the years, I know you have a relationship with all your guys, but just what was it about your guys' relationship that we saw the videos of him coming up and hugging you before the game? Just why do you think it was so strong?
Yeah, well, when he came to the league, he was young. He, Jeremy Macklin, and Deshaun they were all young guys, and Jeremy and LeSean were the youngest ones, I believe, in the draft when they came out, and so I got them when they were kids, and they had success, and I was close to all three of those guys, and just by raising them kind of in the NFL. So we didn't have to. He has a trust there, and I have a trust in him. I know what to expect, and he knows what to expect, and he and Brett are very close, and so Brett was responsible for for us drafting him in Philadelphia. So, that they're close from that standpoint.
And given how much you mentioned in the past, how much you appreciate LeSean and how he's one of your favorite players, how did it make you feel Saturday when you got the call that you guys are going to be reunited?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. It comes down, listen, I mean, it comes down to coaching and playing once he's here. I mean, that's what it is. But I think the main thing is he knows what to expect. And he knows I'm not going to pull any punches with him. He's going to get to work, and he's got to learn the offense. And then I've been very honest with him about Damian and how good of a football player he is. And so I think it's a great situation for both of them and for the team. I mean, for where he's at in his career. I mean, you're talking about potentially a future Hall of Famer with the numbers and stats that he's put together here. And so, here he has an opportunity to come to what potentially is a good football team, right, as we go forward here. So, and be a part of that.
How long was the conversation between you and Brett when he became available, knowing how you both felt about him?
Yeah, it wasn't extremely long, but you have to maneuver a lot of things. You have the cap part, and then you have the roster and how that situates. He's not a special teams player, and then how it fits chemistry wise and to the hard work that these other running backs have put into making this football team. So you have to think about all those things and evaluate them, but it didn't take a lot of time.
There was a report last week that Jalen Ramsey, now that we're in Jacksonville, would follow Tyreek Hill, all game. What was your initial reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of did that last year, same type of deal. So that wouldn't be a surprise. He's a heck of a football player. So that's always a neat one for fans to watch, that competition between those two. They're two good football players going against each other.
Andy, once Shady gets rolling, do you see much of a role for Darwin Thompson on offense at least?
Sure. I've done this before, where I've done it by committee. I mean, really, most of my time in Philadelphia, that's what I did, and they all had success and worked out pretty well for them. I mean, we'll play. We have the ability to play everybody if we go that route,
And is there a different feeling going into a season with the highest of expectations for this team?
Listen, I mean, that's all kind of outside buzz. Inside, you get to work, and the one thing is we know how good Jacksonville is. I mean, they're a physical football team that's well coached, and so you better get yourself right, and we're playing at their place where it's loud, and you got to get yourself ready for that. So if you go about doing that, you don't worry about all the other stuff. You're focused on the team. So I don't worry about it. I don't think much about it. I think when it's all said and done, I don't think the players think much about it. They respect the opponents that you play in this league. There's a very small margin between winning and losing in the National Football League. So you got to get yourself right every week, and if you do it right, you exhaust yourself. You don't have much else to think about, outside of that.
The Jags last year, you guys, it's a different looking team than you faced last year. They've changed quarterbacks. When you're facing someone week one and there's not a whole lot of tape what the new quarterback is and what they're doing, how do you kind of go about preparing for that?
Yeah, well, he's a good player, and our guys respect that. They didn't play a bunch of their starters much of the preseason, so they've got a couple good receivers there and good offensive line, so on. So they've got good talent on that side of the football. And they kind of went through a change like we did on defense. They did on offense, personnel-wise. So they brought in some new players. But I think that's a positive. And you don't know. I mean, listen, no one knows what you get through the first three games. That's kind of the way it goes. So there's going to be some surprises there that you got to adjust to, and you got to trust your fundamentals. You got to trust the scheme, and then at times you have to make adjustments, right? So as coaches and players, but that's all part of it, and everybody's going through it. You know.
Couple more
With,
guys.
with Breland Speaks, how difficult was it to go ahead and make the decision to put him on IR now and close any door for him maybe coming back late in the season?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, he's a young guy, and so you want to make sure that you got a bright future ahead of him, and you want to make sure that leg is right, and so you know that's the route we chose.
Do you know much about your new offensive tackle, the guy from Houston?
Yeah, I know when he came out that he, you know, he's got good feet, and he's a good pass protector. I mean, that's things that he was in college, and he carried that part over into the NFL. So, I mean, there's some of his game he's got to work on and get better at. But he's a young guy, and Andy really liked him when he came out. And so, as did our scouts, so I think it's a good fit for him.
Is there an expectation that Yelder will be able to go starting this week?
Yeah, Yeller's he's healthy, ready to roll. Yeah.
Last one, Nate.
With your 2 stints with Nick Foles, what do you think he developed, or what did you see from him from not necessarily a physical trait standpoint, but from a mental growth, both in Philly and in Kansas City as you prepare for him?
Yeah, well, you know, he played for me as a rookie in Philly, and I thought did a nice job there for being as young as he was, right, in his first year. And then he was with Chip, and he had a nice go there, and then things got a little sticky, and so he was kind of fed up with football, and he decided that he wasn't fed up and came back, you know, and came here, and I think that was good for him. I think it was good to be in the room with Alex. That was a good room, so I think it was good for him to be there and be around people that he was familiar with, and so he had a couple of good games for us now. So he's a good football player, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him being with a good organization and having another opportunity here to play. He ended up going back to Philly and had success there in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. So he can play, and and so we've got to prepare ourselves going against a good football player. You know?